Hi, welcome to Seshu-Solutions. This is Anusha. Today, I'm going to teach you about types of numbers. Okay? So, today's session is about types of numbers. The first ones are called the natural numbers. Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. The next one is called the whole numbers. Whole numbers are 0. The difference between natural numbers and the whole numbers is we are including 0 here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So all the natural numbers are whole numbers. And along with that, in whole numbers, we are including 0. The another type of numbers are called the integers. Okay. In integers, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the positive numbers. Along with that, we are including the negative numbers. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. Okay. So integers has both the positive numbers as well as the negative numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And -1, -2, -3, and so on. Okay. Then comes the next one is called the rational numbers. So what are rational numbers? All the integers are called rational numbers. Along with that, we have fraction numbers, okay? Which is 2 by 3, 4 by 5, or -6 by 7, like that, okay? So all integers like 0, 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -3 are called rational numbers. Along with that, we are including fractions in the rational numbers. And fractions can be either positive or negative. All those comes under the rational numbers. Okay. The next type of numbers are called the irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 5, square root of 7, square root of 11. Irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 5, square root of 7, square root of 11, and so on. Okay. If it is not a perfect square root, we will call it as an irrational number. And all these numbers are called the real numbers. So any number is represented as a real number. Okay. All these numbers are called the real numbers. So the natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. The next type of numbers are whole numbers. We are including 0 in this. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Integers. Integers are both positive numbers and negative numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Along with that, -1, -2, -3, and so on. The next one is the rational numbers. All integers are rational numbers, and any fraction number, whether it is a positive or a negative number, it is called a rational number. And we have another type of numbers called irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 5, square root of 7, square root of 11, and so on. And all these numbers are called the real numbers. Okay. And now we have even numbers and odd numbers too. Okay. So let me discuss what are even numbers. Even numbers are multiples of 2. Like whatever the numbers that are comes under the 2 table, those are all called the even numbers. Like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so on. Okay. So if you observe that the ones place is an even number, the ones place should be a multiples of 2. Okay. So for that, when you have a bigger number, we should know whether it is an even number or not, right? So for example, if you have a number 7892, okay? So we have to check the ones place. If the ones place ends with 2468, if the ones place ends with 2468, then we will call that number as an even number. Okay? We will call that number as even number. Okay. Now, if you have 4, 8, 9, 7. Okay. Here check the ones place. Is the ones place ends with 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0? Is the ones place ends with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8? No, because it is 7. So this number we'll call it as an odd number. Okay. So let me discuss with you what is an odd number. Odd numbers are the numbers that ends with, that means the ones place should be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Or we'll write 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. Or 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. If you observe that the ones place in all these numbers are ending with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, let me teach you with a few examples and we'll decide whether it is an even number or an odd number. Okay, so the first number I'm taking it as 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have to check the ones place. Here the ones place is 9. So if the ones place is 9, so the ones place is ending, if the ones place is ending with 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9, then we will say that number is an odd number. Okay. Now let me do the second example. In the second example, we'll do 5 examples here. Okay. So 9, 6, 7, 4, 2. Okay. And 7, 8, 4, 3, and 1. This is 1. Okay. And you can make your own examples like 2, 31. Okay. Or 4, 18, 9. Okay. Or 6, 7, 6, 6. Okay. Yeah. So we will write whether these numbers are even numbers or odd numbers. So in the second example, the ones place is the starting digit, right? So the ones place is 2. If the ones place is ending with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then we will call it as an even number. Okay. Now again, in the third example, check the ones place. And the ones place is 1 here. So if the ones place is 1, so if the ones place is representing like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, then you will call that number as an odd number. Okay. Oh, in this example, let me change the number like 2, 3, 1, 8. Okay. So now check the ones place. Here in this example, the ones place is 8. The ones place is 8. If the ones place ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then we will call it as an even number. And now 9. 9 is an odd number. What are the odd numbers? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So if the number in the ones place is 9, then you will say it is an odd number. If the ones place is 6 here, so if the ones place is having like 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, then you will call that number as an even number. Okay. So even numbers are the numbers that in the ones place are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So anything that are multiples of 2 are called the even numbers. Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So if the ones place is having like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, then that numbers are called the odd numbers. Okay. Now we have the third type of numbers are prime numbers. Prime numbers. Prime numbers are the numbers that are multiples of itself. Prime numbers are the numbers that are multiples of itself. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29 and so on. If you observe, all these numbers are come in the same table and itself, like 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3, 5 times 1 is 5, 7 times 1 is 7. They're not coming in any other table. So if the numbers are multiples of itself, then those are called the prime numbers. We have composite numbers. The next type of numbers are called composite numbers. So if composite numbers are nothing but like if you have a multiple factors. For example, here if you consider a number 4. Number 4 comes in the 2 table, like 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 times 1 is 4. So it is coming in the 2 table and 4 table. So it has multiple factors. If you have multiple factors, then it is called a composite number. For example, if you consider a number 28, okay? So 2 times 14 is 28, okay? And 4 times 7 is 28, right? And 1 times 28 is 28. 7 times 4 is 28. And 14 times 2 is 28. So the 28 number comes in multiple tables, right? The 28 number comes in the 2 table, 4 table, 7 table, 14 table, 28 table. Like 28 times 1 is 28. So if it has a multiple factors, then it is called a composite number. Okay, let me take another example, 35. Well, here the ones place is 5, so you will represent it as an odd number. Okay, now 35. What are the factors for 35? 35 will come in the 1 times 35 is 35. Along with that, it will come in 5 times 7 or 7 times 5. So other than the 1 table, it is coming in the 5 table and 7 table. So it has multiple factors. It is called a composite number. Okay. So I gave you a clear idea of types of numbers. Let us test with few examples. Okay. The first example here is 2 by 3. Now, is it a 2 by 3 a natural number? No, because natural numbers are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, so it is not a natural number. Is it an real number? Yes, any number can be included as a real number. So any number is called a real number. So option B is correct. But we have to check the other option too. Is it an irrational number? No. Irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 3, if it is not a perfect square root, and pi. Those are all called the irrational numbers. So this is not the option. Is it a rational number? Yes. Anything that can be written as a fraction, a positive integers or a negative integers, are called the rational numbers. So 2 by 3 is a fraction, so it is called a rational number. So the answer options B and D are correct. Next one, minus 5. Minus 5, is it a rational number? Yes, because all the integers comes under the rational numbers along with the fractions. So option is correct. Is it an integer? Yes, because integers has 0, 1, 2, 3, all the positive numbers, and -1, -2, -3, all the negative numbers. Is it a whole number? Is it -5 a whole number? No, because whole numbers are just the positive numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Is it an irrational number? It is not an irrational number because irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5, square root of 9. So it is not a whole number and it is not an irrational number. So -5 is not a whole number because it should have only positive numbers. Okay, and it is not an irrational number. Pi. I told you any number is called a real number. So we can take that. Is it an irrational number? Yes. Pi, square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5, square root of 7 are called the irrational numbers. Is it a natural number? No. Natural numbers are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Is it an integer? No. Integers are 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. So pi is a real number and it is an irrational number. 26. Is it 26 an even number? To check whether 26 is an even number or not, you have to check the ones place. So in 26, the ones place is 6. So if the ones place is ending with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then you will call it as an even number. And this is a positive number. So it is called a natural number. And is it a composite number? Composite number means it should have multiple factors. So 26 is 1 times 26 is 26 and 2 times 13 is 26. 13 times 2 is 26. So 26 comes in 2 table, 13 table, and 26. So it has multiple factors. It has more than one factor. So it is a composite number. And all positive numbers are called the whole numbers. So A, B, C, D, all options are correct in this question. Next, 295. When you check the 295, the first option they gave you is an odd number. So what is an odd number? You have to check the ones place. The ones place, if the ones place ends with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, then you will call it as an odd number. So the 5 is an odd number. The ones place is an odd number. So this number is an odd number. Next, option B. Is it an even number? No, because for an even number, the ones place should end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. But here, the ones place is ending with 5, so it is not an even number. Is it a rational number? Yes. All the positive numbers and negative numbers and anything that written as a fraction is called a rational number. So option C is correct. Is it an irrational number? No, because irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5, square root of 7. So only the options A and C are correct for 295. Yes, most kids will get confused with this question. The number 0, is it a natural number? Is it true or false? No, because the natural numbers are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. 0 is not included in natural numbers. And whole numbers has a 0. So it is false, okay? Because the number 0 is not a natural number. It is a whole number, integer, irrational number, and a real number. And square root of 10. Square root of 10, is it a natural number? No, it is not a natural number. Okay, natural numbers are just the positive numbers. Is it a rational number? No. Rational numbers are just positive numbers and negative numbers, positive fractions and negative fractions. So square roots will not come under the rational numbers. Is it an irrational number? Yes, irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5, 7. It is not a perfect square root, so it is an irrational number. And any number can be considered it as a real number. Okay, so option C and D are correct. Okay, is it 17? Is it a 17 an odd number? Yes, 17 is an odd number because the ones place is ending with the 7. So if the ones place ends with the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, then you will call it as an odd number. It is an integer and it's a positive number, so it is a whole number, and any number can be considered it as a real number. So all the options are correct for the number 17. It's an odd number, integer, whole number, and a real number. Is it minus 32 by 5? Is it minus 32 by 5 as as an integer? No. Integers are only just positive numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and as well as negative numbers like negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. But fractions will not belongs to the integers. Okay. Yes, any number that can be written as a fraction, whether it is positive or negative, we will consider it as a rational numbers. Is it an irrational number? No. Irrational numbers are pi, square root of 2, square root of 5, square root of 7. So it is not an irrational number. Is it a real number? Yes, any number can be considered it as a real number. Okay. Okay, now the number is 6782. The first option they gave you is to check an even number. Yes, it is an even number because the ones place is ending with the 2. So it is called an even number. Okay, and integer. Yes, it is an integer because it's a positive number. So all 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, like 1000, 2000, everything is an integer. Along with that, we'll have a negative numbers too. Is it a composite number? I will teach you a different concept here. All the even numbers are composite numbers because you will have more than one factor. All the even numbers are called, except 2, sorry. All the even numbers except 2 are called the composite numbers, okay? Because 2 is only multiple of itself. Only 2 is a prime number. But other than that, all the even numbers are called the composite numbers because 6782 will comes in the 2 table and it has multiple factors, okay? Is it a prime number? No. Okay, it's not a prime number because it's not, it has a multiples of 1, 2, and 6, 7, 8, 2, and a couple of other tables. So it is not a prime number. I hope I gave you a clear idea about types of numbers. In the next video, I'll try to discuss about integers and what are opposite of integers and absolute values. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.